Have you ever wondered how a man truly feels about you? Not just in the way he looks at you or the things he does, but in the words he chooses to say? Because when a man deeply loves you, his words will reflect the emotions he may struggle to express in other ways. Many women make the mistake of only watching his actions, believing that words are cheap. But the truth is, words have immense power. They can heal, they can break, and most importantly, they can reveal what lies in a man's heart. A man who is truly in love with you will say things that make you feel seen, heard, and valued. And when you hear these key phrases, you'll know his love isn't just surface level. It's deep, real, and unwavering. Stay with me until the end of this video, because by the time we finish, you will know exactly what to listen for. You'll gain the clarity to recognize real love when you hear it. And most importantly, you'll never again waste your time on a man who doesn't truly cherish you. Now, let's begin. Love is more than just feelings. It's a form of communication, and when a man loves deeply, his words will naturally reflect that love. But here's what most people don't realize. A man won't always say, "I love you" outright in every moment. Instead, his love will be woven into the small, yet powerful phrases he uses in everyday life. These words will make you feel safe. They will make you feel important. They will make you feel like you matter. Not just as someone in his life, but as someone he cannot imagine his life without. But here's the challenge. Many women overlook these phrases because they're too focused on grand gestures. They expect a man to prove his love through expensive gifts, elaborate surprises, or dramatic confessions. And while those things can be nice, they are not the true markers of deep, lasting love. Instead, love is found in the quiet moments. It's in the way he reassures you when you feel insecure. It's in the way he listens when you speak. It's in the way he chooses words that lift you up instead of tearing you down. You see, psychology tells us that human beings express what they value most through language. A man may not always be perfect at showing his love, but if he truly cherishes you, his words will be his way of proving it. And those words will leave no room for doubt. So what are these phrases? What are the words that only a deeply loving man will say to you? Get ready, because once you hear them, you'll never again question whether a man's love is real. Respect. It's the foundation of every strong relationship. Without it, love is nothing more than an illusion, a fragile feeling that will shatter the moment things get difficult. A man who deeply loves you will not only admire you, but he will respect you. And the proof of that respect? It's in his words. When a man says, "I respect you," he's not just making a statement. He's showing you that he sees you as an equal, not as someone to control, change, or diminish. He's telling you that your thoughts, your opinions, and your choices matter to him. And this is where most people go wrong. They confuse attraction with respect. A man can be attracted to you and still dismiss your feelings. A man can desire you but still ignore your opinions. A man can say he loves you but still belittle your dreams. But a man who truly respects you, he will never do these things, because respect means he values your mind just as much as he values your presence. It means he listens when you speak, not just to respond, but to understand. It means he acknowledges your boundaries instead of pushing them. It means he supports your growth rather than feeling threatened by it. And here's what most women don't realize. A man who respects you won't always need to say the words, "I respect you," directly. Instead, his respect will show in the way he speaks to you. He will say, "What do you think?" because he values your mind. He will say, "I understand how you feel," because he acknowledges your emotion. He will say, "I trust your decision," because he believes in your ability to choose for yourself. Psychology tells us that respect is the highest form of love. Because when a man respects you, he's not just loving you in the moment. He's honoring who you are as a person. And the most powerful thing about respect, it creates a safe space for love to grow. Think about it. How can you love someone who constantly dismisses you? How can you feel safe with someone who makes you feel unheard? You can't. And that's why respect is the foundation of everything. A man who doesn't respect you may still say he loves you, but his love will come with conditions. He will love you only if you agree with him. He will love you only if you follow his rules. He will love you only if you shrink yourself to fit his expectations. But a man who respects you, his love is different. He will love you without needing to control you. He will love you without trying to change you. He will love you because he sees your strength, not because he wants to weaken it. And here's something important. A man who truly respects you will never degrade you in an argument. He will never use words to break you down, because love without respect becomes cruelty, and deep love, it never seeks to destroy. So listen to what he says. Does he lift you up or does he tear you down? Does he listen or does he dismiss? Does he honor your choices or does he try to control them? The answers to these questions will tell you everything you need to know. Because love without respect is just a beautiful lie. And a man who deeply loves you, he will always, always show you respect, not just in his actions, but in his words. Life is unpredictable. There will be moments of joy, but there will also be moments of struggle, times when you feel lost, uncertain, or even broken. And in those moments, the one thing that truly reveals a man's love is whether he stands by you or walks away. A man who deeply loves you will not disappear when things get hard. He will not retreat when you are at your weakest. Instead, he will look you in the eyes and say, "I'm here for you." These words hold incredible power. They are a promise, one that says, you don't have to face this alone. When a man tells you this, he's not just offering comfort. He's showing you that your emotions, your struggles, and your fears matter to him. That your happiness isn't just your responsibility. It's something he wants to protect and nurture. And here's the truth. A man's real character is revealed when you are no longer at your best. Anyone can love you when you're happy, successful, and glowing with confidence. But the man who stays when you're tired, overwhelmed, and unsure of yourself, that's the man whose love runs deep. He won't just say, "I'm here for you," and leave it at that. His actions will prove it. He will ask, "How can I support you?" Because he wants to ease your burdens. He will say, "You don't have to go through this alone," because he wants to share your struggles. He will remind you, no matter what happens, "I've got you," because his love isn't conditional on perfection. And yet, so many women accept love from men who are only present when it's easy. They settle for men who show up when they're happy but disappear when they're hurting. They convince themselves that silence in hard times is normal, that a real man doesn't need to say much, but psychology tells us otherwise. Human beings crave emotional security. It is wired into our nature. When life gets difficult, we don't just need physical presence, we need reassurance. We need to hear the words that remind us we are not alone. And a man who truly loves you will instinctively understand this. His love won't be a fair weather love. He won't just hold your hand in the sunlight and let go when the storm arrives. Instead, he will anchor you. He will remind you that no matter how heavy life feels, he will help carry the weight. And here's something you must never forget. A man's words in your hardest moments will reveal the truth about his love. If he loves you deeply, he will offer you strength. If he loves you deeply, he will remind you that you are not a burden. If he loves you deeply, he will make sure you never have to question whether he is by your side. Because love is not just about passion. It's not just about attraction. Real love is about showing up, even when it's hard, even when it's inconvenient, even when it requires sacrifice. So listen carefully. Does he say, "I'm here for you," and prove it with his actions? Or does he vanish when you need him the most? The answer to that question will tell you everything about the depth of his love. Love isn't just about grand gestures or passionate moments. Real love is built on something much deeper: appreciation. A man who truly loves you will not take you for granted. He won't assume that your kindness, your efforts, and your presence in his life are just expected. Instead, he will recognize the value you bring, and most importantly, he will express it. He will say, "I appreciate you." These three simple words have the power to transform a relationship. Because when a man appreciates you, it means he sees you, not just for what you do, but for who you are. He will notice the little things. He will acknowledge the effort you put into the relationship. He will recognize the way you support him, even in the smallest ways. But here's the sad truth. Many women give their all to a man who never expresses appreciation. They cook, they listen, they stand by him through his worst days, yet he never stops to say, thank you. And over time, this lack of appreciation drains them. It makes them feel invisible. It makes them question whether their love even matters. But a man who truly loves you, he will never let you feel unappreciated. He will say thank you for always being there. Because he doesn't take your presence for granted. I see how hard you try because he values your effort. I don't say it enough, but I appreciate you. Because he understands that love must be nurtured with words, not just actions. Psychology tells us that appreciation is one of the strongest ways to create emotional security. When a person feels appreciated, they feel safe in the relationship. They don't have to wonder if their love is enough. They don't have to question whether they're valued. And the truth is, a man who loves deeply will make sure you never have to wonder. He won't wait until you're exhausted to say he appreciates you. He won't let you feel unnoticed. He won't let his pride stop him from expressing gratitude. Instead, he will remind you day after day that you are seen, cherished, and valued. So listen closely. Does he appreciate you, or does he just expect you to always be there? Does he acknowledge your efforts, or does he act like they don't matter? A man's love is not just proven in the good times. It's tested in the moments when you doubt yourself, when life challenges you, and when your confidence wavers. In those moments, his words will either uplift you or leave you questioning your worth. A man who deeply loves you will not let you shrink in self-doubt. He will not watch you struggle and remain silent. Instead, he will look you in the eyes and say, I believe in you. These 4 words carry weight. They are not just encouragement, they are a declaration of trust in your potential. When a man tells you he believes in you, he is doing something powerful. He is reinforcing your confidence, your dreams, and your ability to rise above challenges. But here's what many women fail to notice. Some men love you, but they don't push you to be your best. They love you, but they don't celebrate your ambition. They love you, but they secretly fear your growth. That's not deep love. That's insecurity. A man who truly loves you does not feel threatened by your success. He does not feel uncomfortable when you dream big. Instead, he becomes your biggest supporter. He stands beside you, not just when things are easy, but when you are climbing towards something greater. He will say, you are capable of more than you think, because he sees your potential. Don't give up. I know you can do this. Because he believes in your resilience. I will always support your dreams. Because he wants to see you win. Psychology tells us that belief is one of the strongest motivators. When someone believes in us, we push harder, we go further, and we silence the doubts that hold us back. And when the man you love believes in you, it gives you an unshakable foundation of emotional strength. But the opposite is also true. A man who does not believe in you will drain your spirit. He will downplay your achievements. He will discourage your ideas. He will make you feel like your dreams are too big, too unrealistic, or too ambitious. And over time, this will break you. That's why it's so important to listen to what he says. Not just when things are comfortable, but when you are trying to rise, to evolve, to become more. Does he push you forward, or does he hold you back? Does he cheer for you, or does he make you doubt yourself? A man who deeply loves you will never let you settle for less than what you're capable of. He will remind you of your strength when you forget it yourself. He will speak life into your dreams, even when you are ready to give up. Because real love is not just about feelings, it's about believing in each other's growth, potential, and greatness. And when a man says, I believe in you, he's not just speaking, he's proving that his love is strong enough to lift you higher. Love is not just about passion and excitement. It's about patience. It's about respecting your emotions, your pace, and your personal journey. A man who deeply loves you will never rush you into decisions. He will never make you feel like you owe him something just because he cares for you. Instead, he will say, take your time, I understand. These words are a reflection of emotional maturity. They show that he values you as a person, not just as a partner. Because real love is never about pressure. It's about creating a space where you feel safe, where you feel heard, and where you feel free to grow at your own pace. But not every man will give you that space. Some men will love you, but their love will come with condition. They will expect you to move at their speed, to be ready when they are, and to suppress your emotions just to make things easier for them. And that's not love, that's control. A man who truly loves you will never make you feel guilty for needing time. He will say, it's okay, I'm here whenever you're ready, because he respects your process. You don't have to rush. What we have is real, because he values quality over speed. I want you to feel comfortable. That matters to me, because he prioritizes your emotional well-being. Psychology tells us that true love is rooted in patience. When a person feels pressured, their mind shifts from connection to survival. They begin to feel anxious, defensive, or even trapped. But when someone gives them time, space, and reassurance, it creates trust. It makes them feel safe enough to open up, to be vulnerable, and to love fully. And here's what most people overlook. A man's patience is proof of his long-term intentions. A man who is only here for temporary excitement will not wait. He will not take the time to understand you. He will push, he will pressure. And if you don't move at his speed, he will make you feel like you are losing him. But a man who is serious about you, he will never treat your emotions as an inconvenience. He will never make you feel like you have to choose between his love and your own peace of mind, because deep love is never rushed. It's built with patience, understanding, and a commitment to growing together. So ask yourself, does he allow you to move at your own pace, or does he make you feel like you're running out of time? Does he reassure you when you hesitate, or does he get frustrated when things don't go his way? Does he make you feel safe in your decisions, or does he make you feel like love is a deadline you have to meet? A man who truly loves you will not just be patient, he will make sure you never feel pressure to be anything other than who you are. And that is the kind of love that lasts. Love is not just about big promises, it's about presence, it's about showing up when it matters, even when there's nothing to gain. A man who deeply loves you will not just be there when things are exciting, he will be there when life gets tough, when you feel lost, when you don't have the strength to stand on your own. In those moments, he will say, I'm here for you. These 4 words are more powerful than any love declaration. Because love is not just about what someone says, it's about what they do when you need them most. A man who truly loves you will not disappear when things get hard. He won't become distant when you're struggling. He won't make you feel like your problems are a burden. Instead, he will step closer. He will remind you that you don't have to go through it alone. But not every man will do this. Some men love you when it's convenient, when you're happy, when you have energy to give. But the moment you break down, the moment you need real emotional support, they start pulling away. They become too busy, too distracted, too unavailable. And when you finally come out of your struggle, they return, acting as if nothing happened. That's not love. That's selfishness. A man who truly loves you will stand by you in every season. He will say, you don't have to face this alone, because he wants to carry the weight with you. I will always be here, no matter what. Because his love isn't conditional. Tell me what you need, I'm listening. Because he values your emotions, not just his own. Psychology tells us that in moments of pain, people don't just need solutions, they need connection. They need to feel that they are not alone, that someone sees them, hears them, and stands beside them. And when a man truly loves you, he will make sure you feel that. But here's what you must understand. A man's real character is revealed in difficult times. If he is only present when things are easy, he is not in love. He is just enjoying the good parts of the relationship. If he disappears when you're struggling, he is not your partner. He is just a visitor in your life. If he makes you feel like your emotions are too much, he is not your safe place. He is just passing time. A man who loves deeply will never make you feel alone in your hardest moment. He will not ignore your pain. He will not run when things get difficult. He will remind you again and again that his love is not based on convenience. It's based on commitment. So listen carefully. When you are hurting, does he lean in or does he pull away? When you need support, does he offer his presence or does he make excuses? When life gets difficult, does he remind you that he is there? Or does he leave you to figure it out alone? Because love is not about words spoken in happy moments. It's about the actions taken in the hardest times. And when a man says, I'm here for you, he's not just offering comfort. He's proving that his love is real. Love isn't just about feelings. It's about recognition. It's about seeing someone, truly seeing them, not just for what they do, but for who they are. A man who deeply loves you will never take you for granted. He will never assume that your love, your time, or your efforts are things he is entitled to. Instead, he will look you in the eyes and say, I appreciate you. These words may seem simple, but they hold incredible power because appreciation is what keeps love alive. It's what makes you feel valued, cherished, and respected. It's what reminds you that everything you do, from the smallest gestures to the biggest sacrifices, is seen, acknowledged, and deeply valued. But not every man will give you this. Some men will enjoy your presence without ever expressing gratitude for it. They will accept your kindness without acknowledging it. They will expect your support, your care, and your patience as if it's their right, rather than something you choose to give. That is not love, that is entitlement. A man who truly loves you will never let you feel unappreciated. He will say thank you for being in my life, because he knows that your presence is a gift. I see everything you do, and it means the world to me, because he never wants you to feel invisible. I don't take you for granted. I notice the little things. Because he values the love you pour into the relationship. Psychology tells us that appreciation strengthens emotional bonds. When someone feels seen and valued, their desire to give more, to love more, to invest more into the relationship grows. But when appreciation is missing, love begins to fade. The heart starts to feel neglected, the efforts start to feel pointless, and eventually the connection weakens. And here's the hard truth. A man who does not appreciate you today will only take you for granted tomorrow. If he never thanks you, he is not mindful of your efforts. If he never acknowledges what you do, he assumes it will always be there. If he never makes you feel valued, he does not understand what it means to truly love. A man who truly loves you will make sure you never doubt your worth. He will not let you wonder if you are enough. He will remind you again and again that you are special, that you matter, and that his life is better because you are in it. So listen carefully. Does he make you feel appreciated, or does he just expect things from you? Does he recognize the love you give, or does he only notice when something is missing? Does he express gratitude for your presence, or does he act as if it's just expected? Because love is not about what someone receives. It's about how much they acknowledge and cherish it. And when a man says, I appreciate you, he's not just speaking words. He's proving that he sees you, values you, and never wants to lose you. Love without respect is nothing. It's not real love. It's control. It's selfishness. It's an illusion. A man who deeply loves you will never dismiss your emotions, mock your thoughts, or make you feel like your feelings don't matter. Instead, he will look at you with understanding and say, I respect your feelings. These words mean everything, because respect is the foundation of a healthy relationship. Without it, love turns into a battlefield, where one person always has to prove their worth, where emotions are ignored, and where one voice always dominates the other. But when a man respects your feelings, he is telling you your emotions are valid, your thoughts matter, your voice deserves to be heard. But not every man will do this. Some men will listen, but only to respond, not to understand. Some will tolerate your emotions, but secretly believe you are too sensitive or too emotional. And some will use your feelings against you, twisting your words, making you question your own reality, and leaving you feeling unheard and unimportant. That is not love. That is emotional manipulation. A man who truly loves you will never make you feel small for expressing yourself. He will say, I hear you and I want to understand. Because he listens to connect, not to control. It's okay to feel this way because he knows emotions are not weaknesses. Tell me what's on your mind. I respect your perspective because he values what you think, not just what he wants. Psychology tells us that feeling heard is one of the most powerful forms of love. When someone acknowledges your emotions instead of dismissing them, it builds deep trust. It creates a space where you feel safe to be yourself, to express your fears, to share your thoughts without judgment. But when respect is missing, you start to shrink. You stop sharing, you start hiding parts of yourself because you know they won't be accepted. And here's what you need to know. A man who does not respect your feelings today will disregard your needs tomorrow. If he calls you dramatic, he's not taking your emotions seriously. If he shuts you down when you speak, he does not value your voice. If he only listens when it benefits him, he is not truly invested in you. A man who loves deeply will never make you feel like your emotions are too much. He will never roll his eyes when you express your feelings. He will never walk away in the middle of a difficult conversation. Instead, he will stay. He will listen. He will remind you that your feelings matter not just to you, but to him. So pay attention. Does he make space for your emotions, or does he shut them down? Does he listen to understand, or does he listen just to reply? Does he respect your thoughts, or does he only focus on his own? Because love is not about who is louder or who wins an argument. It's about creating a connection where both people feel valued. And when a man says, "I respect your feelings," he's not just offering kindness. He's proving that his love is built on trust, patience, and true emotional maturity. A man's love isn't just proven in the good times. It's easy to say, "I love you," when everything is going well, but real love is revealed in moments of struggle, in moments of doubt, in moments when you feel like the whole world is against you. That's when a man who truly loves you will stand by your side and say, "I will always support you." Support is more than just words, it's action, it's presence. It's the reassurance that no matter what happens, he won't walk away, he won't disappear when things get hard. He won't let you fight your battles alone. Instead, he will be there, reminding you that you are not alone. But not every man will do this. Some men will love you only when it's convenient. They will admire your strength, but disappear when you need help. They will enjoy your happiness, but avoid your struggles. And some will even make you feel guilty for needing support at all. That is not love. That is conditional loyalty. A man who deeply loves you will never let you question his commitment. He will say, "I believe in you," because he knows your potential, even when you doubt yourself. You don't have to do this alone, because he wants to be your partner, not just a spectator. No matter what happens, I'm here. Because real love doesn't leave when things get difficult. Psychology tells us that human beings crave security in relationships. We need to know that when we fall, someone will be there to catch us. When we struggle, someone will stand beside us. When we feel lost, someone will remind us of who we are. But when support is missing, relationships turn into a place of uncertainty. You begin to feel like you have to handle everything alone. You stop asking for help because you know it won't be there. And slowly, you start feeling more like a stranger than a partner. And here's what you need to understand. A man who does not support you today will leave you struggling tomorrow. If he only shows up when things are easy, he is not truly invested. If he avoids serious conversations, he is not ready to grow with you. If he lets you carry all the burdens alone, he does not understand what love means. A man who loves deeply will make sure you never feel unsupported. He will remind you that your dreams matter. Your struggles matter, your growth matters, and he will be there, not just cheering for you from a distance, but walking with you every step of the way. So ask yourself, does he uplift you, or does he only focus on himself? Does he stand by you in tough times, or does he step back when you need him the most? Does he make you feel like you're in this together, or does he leave you feeling alone? Because love is not just about passion, it's about partnership. And when a man says, "I will always support you," he's not just making a promise. He's proving that his love is built on loyalty, strength, and a commitment that never fades. Love without appreciation is taken for granted. A relationship without gratitude slowly becomes an obligation rather than a partnership. A man who deeply loves you will never let you feel unseen, unheard, or unappreciated. He will look at you and say, "I appreciate you." These words may seem simple, but their impact is powerful. Appreciation is the heartbeat of a strong relationship. It's what keeps love fresh. It's what makes you feel valued, respected, and cherished. Without appreciation, love starts to feel like an expectation, like something you have to give rather than something you are honored to receive. But not every man will show appreciation. Some men will assume that your efforts are just part of your role. They will get comfortable with everything you do but rarely acknowledge it. They will enjoy the love you give but forget to reflect it back. And slowly you begin to feel exhausted. You begin to wonder if all that you give is even noticed. That is not love, that is entitlement. A man who truly loves you will never take you for granted. He will say, "I see how much you do and I appreciate it," because he understands that love should never be one-sided. "Thank you for being you," because he knows your presence is not something to be overlooked. I don't say it enough, but I'm grateful for you. Because real love expresses, not assumes. Psychology tells us that appreciation strengthens emotional bonds. When someone feels valued, they naturally want to give more. They feel secure, they feel loved, and they feel recognized. But when appreciation is missing, love starts to feel like a duty. You start wondering if your presence even makes a difference. You begin holding back because you realize your efforts go unnoticed. And here's what you need to understand. A man who does not appreciate you today will expect everything from you tomorrow without ever giving back. If he never says thank you, he believes your efforts are automatic. If he never acknowledges your sacrifices, he is blind to your value. If he only notices you when you stop giving, he never truly appreciated you in the first place. A man who loves deeply will make sure you never feel invisible. He will remind you that everything you do matters, whether it's the way you support him, the way you stand by his side, or the way you bring love into his life. So ask yourself, does he notice your efforts, or does he just expect them? Does he make you feel valued, or does he only focus on what he receives? Does he express gratitude, or does he assume love is a one-way street? Because love is not just about being together, it's about appreciating each other. And when a man says, "I appreciate you," he's not just being polite. He's proving that he sees you, values you, and never wants to take you for granted. A man who deeply loves you will not only see you, he will celebrate you. He will recognize your efforts, your growth, and your strength. He will not be intimidated by your success or threatened by your achievement. Instead, he will look at you and say, "I am proud of you." These words carry weight. They are not just a compliment, they are a statement of admiration, respect, and deep emotional investment. Because love is not just about feeling connected, it's about wanting to see each other win. When a man truly loves you, he doesn't just love who you are today, he loves who you are becoming. He supports your journey, your ambitions, and your dreams. But not every man will do this. Some men will love you as long as you stay in their shadow. They will be comfortable as long as you don't outgrow them. The moment you start to shine, they will feel insecure. The moment you step into your power, they will try to pull you back. Instead of celebrating your success, they will minimize it. Instead of being proud, they will compete. That is not love. That is control. A man who truly loves you will never feel small because you are growing. He will say, "You worked hard for this and you deserve it." Because he knows success is never accidental. "I always knew you could do it," because he sees your potential even when you doubt yourself. Your achievements don't just make you proud, they make me proud too, because your success is his success. Psychology tells us that admiration and support in a relationship create emotional security. When someone feels genuinely proud of you, it strengthens trust and connection. You feel safe to grow, safe to evolve, and safe to reach for more. But when admiration is missing, relationships turn into silent battles. You start questioning whether your success is a burden. You start holding yourself back because you don't want to lose the love you have. And here's what you need to understand. A man who does not celebrate you today will resent you tomorrow. If he downplays your success, he fears your growth. If he never acknowledges your progress, he is too focused on himself. If he tries to compete with you instead of supporting you, he is not your partner, he is your rival. A man who loves deeply will make sure you never feel guilty for becoming better. He will remind you that your dreams matter, that your hard work deserves recognition, that you are not too much for achieving more. Because real love does not shrink you, it expands you. It gives you the freedom to be the best version of yourself without fear, without hesitation, and without limits. So ask yourself, does he celebrate your victories or does he ignore them? Does he encourage your growth or does he try to slow you down? Does he make you feel proud of yourself or does he make you question your success? Because love is not just about being together. It's about lifting each other up. And when a man says, I am proud of you, he's not just making a statement. He's proving that your happiness, your achievements, and your growth bring him as much joy as they bring you. Life is unpredictable. There will be storms. There will be moments when you feel like the world is against you, when things go wrong, when you doubt yourself, when everything seems to be falling apart. Who is standing by your side? That answer tells you everything about a man's love. A man who deeply loves you will not just be there when life is easy. He will be there when it's hard. When challenges come, he won't run. He won't disappear. He won't suddenly become distant. Instead, he will say the words that carry the weight of true commitment. I will always stand by you. This is not just a phrase, it is a promise, a declaration that he is not here just for the good times. He is here for all of it, the highs, the lows, the struggles, the victories, because real love does not walk away when things get tough. Real love stays. Some men will only stay when it's convenient. They will say they love you when you are at your best, but the moment you are struggling, they withdraw. They make you feel like your problems are a burden. They disappear when you need them the most. That is not love. That is conditional attachment. A man who truly loves you will do the opposite. He will remind you, you don't have to go through this alone, because he understands that love means support. I'm not going anywhere, because he knows that real commitment is not temporary. No matter what happens, I've got you. Because his love is not based on circumstances. It is based on connection. Psychologists say that emotional security is one of the deepest human needs. The feeling of knowing someone is truly there for you creates a foundation of trust. When a person feels abandoned during difficult times, it damages the bond. It creates fear. It makes you question whether love is real or just an illusion. That is why the words, I will always stand by you, are so powerful. They remove doubt. They dissolve insecurity. They create certainty. But remember this, a man's love is not proven in words alone. It is proven in action. If he says he will stand by you but disappears when you need him, his words mean nothing. If he says he loves you but makes you feel alone in your struggles, his love is shallow. If he promises to be there but constantly finds excuses, he is not the man you deserve. A man who loves deeply will not let you fight your battles alone. He will step into the storm with you. He will remind you that you're not weak, that you're not alone, and that you don't have to carry everything by yourself. Because love is not just about sharing happiness. It is about sharing burdens. So ask yourself, does he stand with you when things get difficult, or does he disappear? Does he make you feel safe, or does he make you question his presence? Does he prove his love through actions, or does he only rely on words? Because when a man says, I will always stand by you, it is more than a sentence. It is a reflection of his character. A man who truly loves you will not just promise to stay. He will show you every single day that he is not going anywhere. Love is not just about comfort. It is not just about companionship. It is about growth. It is about becoming a better version of yourself because of the person standing beside you. When a man deeply loves you, he does not stay the same. He evolves, he grows, he improves. Because true love is not stagnant, it is transformative. And when a man feels that deep, undeniable love for you, he will say something that reveals the depth of his heart. You make me a better man. This is not just a compliment, it is an admission, an acknowledgement that your presence in his life has changed him, that because of you, he sees himself differently. That because of you, he is motivated to rise higher, to be stronger, to be wiser. A man who loves you deeply does not resist growth. He embraces it. He doesn't just exist in the relationship. He doesn't just go through the motions. He actively becomes better because he knows you deserve the best version of him. Think about the power of those words. You make me a better man. It means you inspire him. Because of you, I see life differently. It means you have shifted his perspective. I want to be the kind of man you deserve. It means he respects you enough to improve himself. But here is the truth. Not every man will say this, and not every man will mean it. Some men enter relationships without any desire to grow. They are comfortable where they are. They resist change. They expect you to love them as they are, but they make no effort to evolve. A man who loves deeply will never be content with mediocrity. He will not stay the same man he was when you met him. He will push himself, not because you demand it, but because your presence awakens something inside him. A desire to be better, to do better, to live with more purpose. Psychologists say that when people experience real love, their brain chemistry changes. They become more driven, more focused, more self-aware. This is why real love does not just bring happiness, it brings transformation. A man who truly loves you will start thinking differently. He will start making better choices. He will drop bad habits. He will develop discipline, not because he has to, but because he wants to. Because when he looks at you, he sees more than just a partner. He sees a future. But here is where many people get confused. Making a man better does not mean changing him. It does not mean forcing him to be someone he is not. It means that simply by being with you, he feels a natural pull towards self-improvement. If a man resists growth, if he refuses to evolve, if he becomes defensive when challenged, he is not in love, he is in comfort. And comfort does not lead to transformation. So ask yourself, does he strive to be better because of you, or does he stay the same? Does he take responsibility for his growth, or does he blame circumstances? Does he value your influence, or does he resist it? Because when a man says, "You make me a better man," he is not just speaking about what you do for him. He is revealing what you mean to him. And a man who truly loves you will never settle for being less than his best. Because love, real love, does not just stay still. It elevates. Love is not just about emotions. It is not just about how someone makes you feel in the moment. It is about choice. A conscious decision to be there, to stay, to build, to grow every single day. When a man deeply loves you, he does not leave things to chance. He does not base his love on temporary excitement or fleeting emotions. Instead, he makes it clear with his words and actions, "I choose you every day." This phrase holds power because it is not about love that exists only when times are good. It is not about love that endures only when everything is easy. It is about love that endures. Love that remains steady through the ups and downs, through the storms, through the challenges. When a man tells you, "I choose you," he is telling you that his love is not conditional, that he does not see you as an option, but as his priority. That no matter what life throws at both of you, he is standing firm in his commitment. This is the kind of love that builds empires, that withstands time, that does not crumble under pressure. Because real love is not passive, it is active. It requires effort, it requires intention, it requires daily decisions to show up, to fight for the relationship, to nurture the connection. Many people mistake love for a feeling. They think it is something magical that happens effortlessly, but human psychology teaches us that long-lasting love is a choice. A man who is truly in love does not wake up and wonder whether he still feels the same way. He wakes up and chooses to love. This is why relationships built on deep love are different. They are not based on momentary attraction. They are not based on convenience. They are built on a foundation of commitment, on a mindset that says, no matter what, I am here. Think about the power of that. I choose you. It means you are not replaceable. I choose you. It means you are not just loved. You are valued. I choose you. It means he sees his future with you and he is willing to put in the effort to make it work. But here's the truth. Many people enter relationships hoping to be chosen once, but real love means being chosen every single day. A man who loves you deeply does not let time create distance. He does not let routine make him take you for granted. He understands that love is something that must be nurtured, not something that is expected to last without care. This is where many relationships fail. They start strong, they start with passion, they start with excitement, but over time one person stops choosing the other. One person stops putting in effort, one person stops seeing the relationship as a priority. But a man who truly loves you will never let that happen. Because when he says, I choose you, every day, he is telling you that love is not just a feeling, it is a responsibility. Psychologists say that the happiest, longest living relationships are not the ones where people never have problems. They are the ones where both people wake up each morning and decide to stay committed, to keep growing, to keep loving, even when things are not perfect. So ask yourself, does he choose you with his actions or only with his words? Does he show up for you even when it is inconvenient? Does he make you feel secure in his love, or does he make you question it? Because love is not about grand gestures once in a while. It is about the small, consistent choices that prove every day that you are cherished. A man who truly loves you will not make you beg for his presence. He will not make you doubt his loyalty. He will not make you wonder where you stand, because he knows that love is not something that just happens. It is something you choose. And when he loves you deeply, he will make sure you never have to question that choice.